Much as I thought I could plan a podcast, that is not going to happen. I do not have the mindset to sit here. Chop up block for block how I'm going to tell you about weight loss and weight gain. Good evening on this January 3rd, 2022. The time is 11:21 p.m. and welcome to Early in the AM with Isha. Today's topic, I'm just reflecting on some of the entries I've submitted in the past couple of days, and I just want to talk about stability for a minute. You know, when for some reason I can't stop looking for instant success. There's this nerve in me. It's like a bottom nerve, and for some reason it believes it's connected to some mysterious jackpot that's so large it'll change the state of my life. Now I've believed in this jackpot since I was a child, and every day I go through life I always encounter some obstacle that punches that belief down a notch. It's always something minute, something I just slightly forgot about, and then some slip comes in and just knocks it out of place, and every day it gets lower and lower and lower. And now it's at a place where it's the dirtiest belief. It's like it's up under all of my dirt, all of my grime, all of my flaws, all of my issues, all of my hope and dreams. All these is resting on this belief that's just at the bottom of everything I know. And I have to be patient and not disturb my destiny in life, but to keep believing in it no matter the state that it's in. And I go through so much to keep my hopes up. Like, I believe in Christ and I believe in tarot, which is crazy. There's a part of me that, I don't even have to ask, do I believe in God? I just react. It's not even a question to answer. It's just to react. But at the same time, I believe in superstitions, like in Tauruses and things like that. I found out that there's a tiny bug issue in my bedroom. And, at first I was nervous. I was scared. I thought it was bed bugs. But come to find out, it's ladybugs. And I didn't even put the two and two together till I saw one single red insect crawling on my fleece blanket. And I found two of them in the span of 4 months, but they were so far apart, I didn't think anything of it. And they were bigger than, bed bugs, but I didn't think it was a ladybug or like a baby ladybug until a couple of days ago when I went to go use my bathroom. A full grown ladybug with the spots on it was crawling up my wall. And then, I went and I looked up the pictures, and then everything comes together. During the summer and into late fall, right before winter hit, there was like this crazy infestation of ladybugs in the parking lot behind the building where I live. Like they were on the cars, they were crawling up the building, and I didn't think, they would crawl up the building and, crawl through the holes in my screen and get into my room. But anyway, I digress. So I'm running to that. I'm like, yes, it's good luck. And according to symbolism, ladybugs are very good luck. If you're going on a good path, they're telling you you're going the right way. If you catch them in your bedroom, it's supposed to be like a late relative that may have passed on that's coming back to watch out for you or to protect you on your journey. It's like there's all these meanings for it. And then I go online to YouTube and I look up all the self-help and how to manage your emotions and to follow God and to how to stay away from temptation and things like that. And then I go to myself and all the podcasts I've gone and all the poems I've written and all the theories I've created and everything I've done that was self-help related, trying to find the single best way to stabilize so I can maintain position to accept this belief if it comes true. First, you have to be in a position to accept the blessing once it comes, and not to be so caught up in chasing my dreams that I lose sight of what God calls openness and the ability of to be translucent and to be liquid in my belief. Because some of us, we train our bodies, we train our minds to only accept blessings in certain forms. And a lot of times our blessings arrive and we don't know, and we're blind to it. We don't know what it looks like because we want our dreams to look how we want them to look. And a lot of times God sends us blessings in forms that he wants us to shape ourselves, and we may not, because we've blinded certain aspects of our mind and our thinking, that we won't accept anything that is out of that peripheral, that is out of that focus of the dream this and the dream that. And a lot of times God sends us things that have been scarred, that may be just out of our view, but because we've blindsided ourselves to see a certain way, we block so many other blessings out of our way. So I'm trying not to do that, just in case this blessing comes not in the form of a shiny diamond in a window, but maybe like an uncut gem, something that's fresh out of the dirt, that doesn't have the shine on it yet because it hasn't met the lasers. You know what I mean? So I'm going through that aspect. And I'm trying to keep my mind liquid and my spirit pure, so whatever form it comes in, I'll be ready to accept it. And in believing that, I went a little deeper into myself, and I was thinking, how do you do that? And then I'm going through the years and years I've gone through with my body image issues. And I've gotten to a point where my attraction level, first, I've gone through pictures in my head about what I think is attractive. But now I'm getting to the point where my body image issues are so flawed. I see attraction in all kinds of bodies. Like, I be watching 600-Pound Life, and secretly, y'all don't tell nobody, those oversized bellies and then those growths on their legs and all the bumps and stuff, I don't be turning my head and saying ilk. And I don't know what that means. Like, I be looking at it. Not sexually, but I'm not offended by it at all. And I'm wondering if it's the abuse finding acceptance that, okay, this feels right. This feels like how I feel on the inside. Even though that's not how I look, it just matches how I feel on the inside. But then, I have to question that too, because I go right to the bottom of those feelings. I'm trying to make sure this ain't the type of feeling that comes from a place where, as long as you're doing worse than me, I feel okay. So I make sure I check those issues first to make sure it's not coming from that place. And then I go back to it to make sure it's something pure and it's something good. So in stability, in discovering who I am and accepting all my vulnerabilities and accepting the fact that if I want to really, really, really have a shot in this life, to really, really, really be good, I have to keep a lock on the promises I made to myself over the years. The promise, like a 6-point lock. And there's 6 things that I've done in my past that I will never do again. Each one of these points is a vital point of the lock. So as long as I keep these things pure, I'll have a pure focal point where I can direct anything and I can save anything within my power to. And I'm not going to give away that 6-point lock yet. I'm going to, talk to it in other podcasts. But in one way, for me, abuse in smoking and thinking, abuse in drinking, sexual activity, partying, social negligence, financial ruin, all these things that, in the vague sense, within I've almost perfected 6 points of abuse that were total failures for me in the past. And I've dedicated a lot of years into finding pure points to connect together. I haven't always been good in, I never picked up the actual physical drink. But there are times when my spirit got drunk from missing the activity. And I may have thought things that I thought when I was drinking when I was younger. So I got to a place where, okay, it's not just knocking out the physical abuse. It's checking the mental misbehaviors that slip in and out where we think it's okay because it's just in the mind. But the mind is the point of control. That's the last place you're supposed to slip. That's not the place where you can't slip and it's okay. No. Once you check the mind and you keep that point pure, the body follows. It's not, when you first starting out, you can have one or the other. You can be good in one place and bad in the other because you're figuring your way. But once you stick to it and you've canceled behaviors and loops in your life, you have to get stricter in the discipline. You have to go off the grid. You have to be missing. Someone has to say, where is so-and-so? They are missing. It's because that's how deep you have to go within to check the root of that issue. It doesn't matter how long you've been gone. You can be gone for 40 years. But when you resurface, you're like, it took me a third of my life to get rid of this issue. A third of my life, I had to stay within and challenge every single tear and root that this thing was going out of. It was everywhere. It's like dropping a piece of bamboo in your yard and then going in the house or going away for a summer, then coming back and the bamboo has overgrown everything in your yard. It has taken over your garden, your grass, the sand. Everywhere you look, it's bamboo just growing rapid. Just because you let one little seed in, and then you left it unchecked, and that seed overtook everything. And then you're just there by yourself, pulling every single bamboo root out, making sure there's no other seeds that maybe the wind blew in another part of the yard that hasn't sprouted out yet, waiting for the growing seeds, and then catching other bamboo you didn't even know was there that was starting to grow, and pulling that out. There's a lot of that. But I have a 6-point lock. This is just a draft idea I'm thinking about. And then once I get more concrete in what it is that I perfected, I have ideas of what I've perfected, but I don't have a concrete definition on them yet. But as soon as I do, believe me, you'll be the first and the second to know. But a lot of what I've truly learned is stability is volatile. A lot of stable things are all over the place all the time. And it's just you keeping track of everywhere it goes. It's just watching a ping pong match. And the best players, or sometimes the hardest obstacles, are the ones that the ball is flying 1,000 miles an hour. And it's not using your eyes to follow the ball at its speed, because that will rattle your head. You'll get dizzy. It's settling your spirit in your gut, in your soul plane. And the more you settle within, the quieter you get, and the more you watch the ball, you're not watching the ball. You're really watching the control point of the players. Because it's their reaction that you're watching. You're not trying to watch the ball itself. That's insane. You're watching the players react to the ball. And that's not something you have to do. That's something you can observe when you're quiet in your spirit. When I played basketball in high school with Coach Johnson and the Bunnell Bulldogs, one thing he taught us when we played defense, he used to always say to us, when we were playing defense, the get down a quarter sense, but he always says, you're supposed to watch the player's stomach, not the ball. That's how you don't get psyched by pump fakes. Because if you watch the ball, someone who does a pump fake you'll jump up trying to block, and they gonna put the ball down and win around you. But if you watch somebody's stomach, and you're playing defense, and you're keeping your eyes both on their face and their stomach, going back and forth, you can't ball fake with your stomach. And so it's the same thing. If you watch the ball way too much and someone pulls a fake on you, it can really throw you off if you're too energized in the movement and not necessarily in your defense and watching where the player themselves is coming from. Someone who you idolize, someone say, I want to be like this person. When you're watching their moves, you're not watching exactly where the fruit is. You want to see where the root is coming from. And that's what stability is. It's not trying to match the energy that's bouncing around. It's settling and watching what's controlling that energy and how bad it's making it go back and forth. So in stability, it's, for me, especially with having to slowly pull in and shrink in, is recognizing not only my strong points, but my weak points. In the past 4 years, I've had several anxiety attacks. And I've told my doctor about it. And they swore up and down they want me to see a therapist about it. And they